Have you ever noticed that the more deeply you think, the more alone you seem to feel? That the more you question, the fewer people want to answer? It's not your imagination. It's a quiet reality that's echoed across centuries. Society doesn't fear intelligence. It fears disruption. And deep thinkers, they don't just think differently. They see differently. And that vision, it makes people uncomfortable. From Diogenes, who walked barefoot through Athens holding a lantern, searching for an honest man, to Alan Turing, whose genius helped end a world war, yet was cast out for simply being himself. History isn't kind to those who see too much, too soon. Not because they're wrong, but because they challenge a fragile sense of normal. But why is this the case? Why is it that those who think most deeply are so often pushed to the margins? To understand, we have to look within, not at society first, but at ourselves. When you meet someone physically strong, it's impressive. It might spark admiration, maybe envy, but rarely defensiveness. Strength is visible, obvious, it doesn't question your values. Wealth, same story. You may feel inspired, maybe even frustrated, but the rich don't automatically challenge how you think, only what you have. But intelligence, that's different. True intelligence, the kind that reflects, questions, and reframes the world it's not passive, it's disruptive. Psychologists refer to this as cognitive dissonance. When someone introduces an idea that contradicts what you believe, especially if it reveals a flaw in your worldview, your brain resists, not just the idea, but the person presenting it. And here lies the root of the isolation. Deep thinkers don't just share knowledge. They unknowingly act as mirrors. Mirrors that reflect what others haven't yet considered, what they avoid, or what they're not ready to see. And what do we do when the mirror shows something we don't like? We break it. This is why many thinkers, artists, and visionaries become outsiders. It's not that they want to be alone, but they refuse to trade clarity for comfort. Take Simone Weil, a philosopher and mystic who saw suffering not as a problem to solve, but a truth to embrace. Her views were too raw, too unfiltered. She lived in poverty by choice, disconnected from institutions that praised her intellect but feared her depth. Or consider David Bohm, the physicist who saw the universe not as a machine, but as an unfolding, connected whole. His ideas threatened the status quo, and for that, he was sidelined. Time and time again, we see this pattern. The deeper the thought, the greater the distance from the crowd. But here's the paradox. Isolation, for the deep thinker, is both a wound and a window. Yes, it's lonely, but it's also the space where clarity is born, because only in silence, away from noise, from distraction, from the pressure to conform, can true understanding take root. And maybe that's why so many brilliant minds walked alone, not because they were arrogant, but because they were listening to something quieter and deeper. Still, there's a question that remains. Is it worth it? Is the pursuit of understanding, at the cost of connection, a noble path or a tragic one? The truth? It's both. To think deeply is to see the cracks in the world, but also the light that pours through them. To be alone is painful, but also freeing. Because once you stop needing the approval of the crowd, you begin to hear your own voice more clearly. And that voice, though quiet, is powerful. So if you've ever felt like you don't quite fit in, if you've ever been told you overthink or go too deep, know this. You are not broken. You are not lost. You are simply seeing what others have not yet learned to look for. And while the path of the deep thinker is often a solitary one, it's also the one that moves the world forward. So walk it with courage. Because sometimes the most meaningful journey is the one made in quiet thought and fierce truth.